Hello, and welcome back to Authentically Shawna. I'm your host, Dr. Shawna Burke. Today, I am joined by Philip Wilson, who is the president of Relax Saunas of Momentum, and they promote relax saunas in North America. He's also been a part of health food in America for 45 years, owning a health food store and being a distributor. His training and background is in mathematics. He studied mathematics for 4 years in graduate school, and that is what brought him to where he is today. Welcome to the show.
Thanks so much, Sean. It's a pleasure to be here. It's always exciting to talk to people. And we have a common friend as well that you were telling me about right before the show. So that's always exciting.
It is. I love that so many people are able to plug in and connect with each other in this modern era. And let's plug people in to saunas because I think it's an interesting concept. And tell us a brief history of saunas in general and how relaxed saunas came to be.
That's a great introductory comment. I wanted to also talk about authenticity, how important that word is.
Please.
I saw a video on it about 6 months ago. That word has the most highest vibration.
That's why I chose it.
Yes.
Actually, a friend of mine
Yeah.
and I were having a conversation about what to name my podcast, and that was our conversation. I said, okay, that's the name of the show.
And when you get into the relaxed sauna, you feel authentic because it's truth serum, because it activates the parasympathetic nervous system like far beyond what any other sauna could do. I call it truth serum. And you get a gentle nudge, a gentle, loving prodding to get into the moment and let everything else be released.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the history of saunas. Let's talk about how this idea came about because this is a pretty new concept in health.
Yes, it is. There's a book in Detoxify or Die by Dr. Sherry Rogers. She's an environmental medical doctor, and she spawned the far infrared sauna industry with that book. The book is pretty much all about far infrared saunas and other ways to detox, but the importance of detoxing is crucial because like a clean engine works better than a dirty engine. It's like if you can purify your body and get all the junk out. Now, in the 60s, and the Finnish saunas were great. They detoxified you enough. Every history, every culture has a history of using some way to increase your body temperature and fulfill the dream of Hippocrates. Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, who's famous for saying, above all, do no harm. In the 60s, the Finnish saunas did a great job. A 20-year study on Finnish saunas just came out. It's good for pregnant women. It's good for everyone. Those who use the saunas 4 to 7 days a week, I think they have all-cause mortality is like way up than ones who only do it once or 1 to 3 times a week, or those who do it 0 to 1. I mean, the study is like convincing where, Joe Rogan, Andrew Huberman, Rhonda Patrick, they all laud the abilities of Finnish saunas. But the new wave is that they can't do what far infrared saunas can do because far infrared saunas, they work with one thing. They send off a frequency of far infrared light, the same frequency as water, the same frequency as our bodies. And because it's the same frequency, your body doesn't resist it. Your body it's like a little baby. It just absorbs everything that's the same. It just absorbs everything. So your body absorbs the water molecules. Your cells all absorb that have water in it. Those water molecules are all and the relaxed far infrared energy penetrates. Dr. Sherry Rogers points out that the human body is a far infrared generator. We generate far infrared ray from 3 to 50 microns. That's the wavelength, and mainly at 9.4 microns. That's a special number, and it turns out not only are we spiritual light beings, but we are far infrared light beings, and water is a far infrared molecule. This is important because then you can understand why far infrared does the trick, and red light and near infrared, although beneficial, cannot even come close to doing what far infrared energy does. The wave right now you're experiencing with red light, people, it's like a fad. With red light, I think they sell it for 20 to 25 times what it cost them to make. In a business, you have to sell a product for 5 to 6 times what it cost you to make it in this world, with all the middlemen, with all promotion, with all the marketing that needs to be done. And so the far infrared saunas are sort of like being pushed off to the side. But in reality, in the next couple of years, I think you're going to find a renewal of people being educated about the importance of far infrared light, because we are far infrared light beings and water is a far infrared molecule.
So we're, as a human form,
Yes,
made up of a lot of things. And so why in particular do you think that far infrared is the thing that helps us to detox?
because we are far infrared light beings. So when far infrared comes to us, Dr. Yamaguchi has done a lot of research in Japan. And he says that the 7 to 14 micron frequency, exactly that frequency, that's the frequency that vibrates the water molecules. Now, vibrating the water molecules, when you do that, it actually weakens the ionic bonds, and then the trapped poisonous gases such as sulfur dioxide and carbon dioxide are then released from the body. And also the far infrared energy between 7 and 14 microns, according to Dr. Yamaguchi, this actually antidotes the negative effects of microwave EMF as well as sunburn, which is an
Interest.
overexposure of ultraviolet light.
And so that's the difference between we were talking about Finnish sauna. So what happens in a Finnish sauna versus a far infrared sauna?
Again, great question. In the Finnish sauna, those work by heat. The far infrared saunas work by light and vibrational therapy. This is frequency, vibration, and light therapy. And this, according to Tesla, is the medicine of the future. But even Edison said that, and so did Jacob Lieberman, an ophthalmologist about 40, 50 years ago, also said the same thing. The future of medicine is in frequency, vibration, and light. And then, of course, you have inaudible sound and invisible light. They work together, and we believe that the relaxed sauna does something very, very different, and it somehow gets involved with sound as well. But it's the far infrared light that vibrates the water molecules, and the more you can vibrate the water molecules, the more therapeutic your treatment of being in the sauna will be. Now, the way to test or to measure the therapeutic value of an infrared sauna is how much it increases heart rate variability. The space between heartbeats, the greater that is, the greater your heart rate variability is. And that space between heartbeats is like, that's magic. That's when you're in the now. When there is nothing else going on, there's only you and the universe. And so you get connected on a level, there's a movement of consciousness where you now can create your reality because you're in a space of calm rather than reacting. When you vibrate the water molecules, besides detoxification effect we talked about, there's more to it. Hippocrates wants to chime in and say, find me a way to create sweat or fever, and I will cure any disease. That means I can cure you of any and all diseases if I can increase your body temperature and give you the fever, because the fever will cleanse and detoxify your body. It will increase the circulation. It will get lower blood pressure. It will oxygenate your body like all get out and kill the anaerobic bacteria. Most importantly, is it will activate the parasympathetic nervous system and get you into the now. And the more you get into the now, the more your body can heal, because the um, the nervous caffeine kind of mind jumping up and down like a monkey, that will be no more in that instant. It will be gone. And there you can go into rest and repose. You feel connected. You feel grounded. In the relaxed sauna, you feel like your grandma's giving you a loving hug. You're surrounded by a warm blanket, or you're basking in divine love. You're connected. You're tuned in, And that's where you, as a human being, get your connection, get your insights, get your original thoughts that the John Nash talked about in the movie The Beautiful Mind. He wanted one original thought. And I've been blessed. I quit counting. I don't know how many I've had, but it blows me away. And I'm so grateful when you tune in and you start seeing how it works. You start seeing the underlying patterns instead of being a slave to them. You know, we are a slave to our beliefs, we're a slave to our desires, and we want to wrest control of that. And the way we do it, it's called the Relax Sauna for a reason. We had a lady who had a good quality wooden infrared sauna for 6 years. She and her husband, he's a doctor, and they were at a mental health conference about 10, 12 years ago. And she got in the Relax Sauna with her bathing suit and did a 30-minute sweat and came back an hour later and said, Phil, after 8 to 10 minutes in the Relax Sauna, I experienced the most restful relaxation I've ever had in my life. That's pretty profound.
That is.
And it's called the Relax Sauna for a reason because it gets you there where you need to be.
I wanna talk more about things that Relaxana is doing that other companies aren't doing. I know you have something called the positive temperature coefficient, and those are your semiconductor chips. And I
Yes.
wanna talk about how that's different from other saunas and what differentiates your sauna from other far infrared saunas.
Well, it turns out that of the invisible frequencies that come out of the saunas, a lot of them have carbon panels, or some of them have ceramic contraptions that, give you the far infrared energy, and some mix them. They're nice, they're good, they do a lot of benefit, and all your saunas, all your infrared saunas are gonna have a lot of benefit. Bicycle will get you to the grocery store, and so will a Mercedes, okay? The Mercedes is more comfortable, it gets there quicker, and you can bring the groceries back with you, all of them. So the Relax Sauna uses semiconductor chips, and here's a couple of them. It's like a computer program that it took us 10 years from 1987 to 1997 succeeding in getting the energy that comes out of the Relax Sauna generators to be like the hot springs in southern Japan, the atmosphere, and predominating at those hot springs or Lourdes. There's a lot of far infrared energy, sort of like a preponderance of it, and it's the 7 to 14 micron frequency tested at 4 laboratories, 2 universities in the United States, Polytechnic University near LA and Harvard MIT Science and Technology Lab, tested the Relax Sauna, the wavelengths that comes out of it, and said it's all between 7 to 14 microns for the first 60 minutes. That's the way it is. We have tested other full spectrum portable sauna at Harvard MIT Science and Technology Lab. They had 8% far infrared coming out of their panels. The Amazon sauna had 100% near infrared, 0% far. The Relax Sauna, because of this, the penetration and the intensity, the depth of the penetration of the Relax Sauna was 350% more therapeutic than the $1,400 Spectrum low EMF sauna, and 450% more therapeutic than the Amazon sauna. We also had 1/12 the EMF of the low EMF sauna.
So let's talk about protocols. You had said we briefed over earlier about people who do it 4 to 7 days a week versus 1 to 3 days a week. What are protocols that you're recommending to people? Is it based on age, what's going on in your body? What are some parameters that you're giving for people to use the sauna?
If you can, I'd say 6 to 7 times a week in the Relax Sauna. 20 minutes does the complete sweat, either in the morning or at night, your choice. I usually do 20 minutes every morning. Sometimes I gotta be someplace, I can only do 15, sometimes 8 or 10. I like to at least get to 8 to 10 where I have the catharsis, where I have that first sweat. Takes about 8 minutes to start sweating, 15 minutes you're dripping, 20 minutes you're drenched. There's no Finnish sauna at 210, 180 degrees that can increase heart rate variability, that can increase the creation of heat shock proteins, as the Relax Sauna can do at 130, 140, 145 degrees. The Relax Sauna takes not 20, 30, 40 minutes to preheat. It takes 20, 30, 40 seconds. That's it. 15, 20 minutes, you're done. For convenience sake, the Relax Sauna comes with the chair and the tent and the radiator, the double radiator. Now, what the Relax Sauna offers that other infrared saunas do not offer is we offer a 5 to 7 minute treatment any time in the day, and it will give you 100% to 50% reduction in any pain and any stress with your clothes on without sweating. No other sauna can offer that because they don't have the technology. Again, it's the semiconductor chip takes the electricity and filters out and only gives you the 7 to 14 micron frequency. Why? Because that's the exact frequency that is required to vibrate your water molecules. 1400 watts. We use the tent, on the silver tent, the outside, on the black tent, the inside. The tent is a mirror because far infrared light is a light. Cats lie in the sun, they don't lie in the shade. You have to be in front of the light for it to work. And there's only 2 radiators by the feet. Well, it's a light, so the speed of light is 186,000 miles a second. You can't get absolute zero, so the radiator at 180 degrees is probably more like 179.9. So it's going to hit the wall and bounce and go all over the place. So you're going to be able to absorb the far infrared light from every nook and cranny of that tent. The moon is reflected sunlight. The light that is going in every part of your body is a reflection of the mirror inside the tent. And so every part of your body, far infrared not only goes in 2 inches, near infrared goes in 1/16 of an inch. And because it's so far away from the human wavelength that we resist it, and that causes a little bit of stress. So the light isn't as loving. It's more like a harsh light compared to a soft, loving light that the far infrared is because it's totally absorbed.
What's the difference between sitting out in the sun, that's also far infrared
Yes.
light, what's the difference between sitting out in the sun and a sauna?
Most of the sunlight, the invisible light, is near infrared, and only a little bit is far. So we get plenty of near infrared, but near infrared, again, has its benefits, but we feel that the far can totally outdo. Anything near does, pretty much far can do and more, is what I've experienced. But when you're out in the sun, you're not getting enough of the far infrared ray. So when you're in the sun, you're getting that far, but you're getting the ultraviolet. And a lot of times, if you get too much ultraviolet, you can get a sunburn. But if you have a sunburn of a pain 7 or 8, according to Dr. Yamaguchi, the 7 to 14 micron frequency antidotes that. So I have seen in the last 23 years about a dozen people who've got sunburn pain of 7 or 8. I say, you go into the Relax Sauna. They said, I got a sunburn. You want me to go in that hot box? I said, yeah. And they go in, and 5 to 7 minutes later, the pain's all gone every time.
Let's talk about how long that lasts. So we talked about a few people who had high pain levels, they go into the sauna. How long does that pain dissipation last? Is that a permanent effect? Does it come back? Because again, we are all in stress and in pollution, and there's so many other factors that happen in our world. What's the residual effect?
Well, yes, if you put out a fire, does it come back? Not if people don't start them anymore, but um, it is definitely cumulative. But a lot of times it's done and it doesn't come back. But a lot of times it'll last a day or 2 days or 3 days or sometimes 2 hours. If you go to Relax Sauna Testimonials and then go to the Relax Sauna page on YouTube, you put in Lyme, and the Relax Sauna has a like a search. You put in Lyme, and there's about 20 people testimonies saying, I got the sauna, my symptoms are all gone, and if I don't use it for 2 or 3 days, it'll start coming back. So I make sure I use it, and it's been a year now, and other people, instant, I've done many, many things. It was the last straw or the last missing link that I needed to become healthy. Sometimes, after using Relax Sauna, you still need to do other things, but it's part of the whole protocol. According to Dr. Paul Anderson, who taught at Vassar Naturopathic College for 25 years, he said he can get the temperature up to 101.5, 101.9 every time. Some doctors, as he does, uses the Relax Sauna while they do IV therapy, because if you increase the body temperature 1 degree, In 5 to 7 minutes with a relaxed sauna, which it does, you can increase absorption of nutrients 20%, whether it be intravenous therapy or whether it be food you eat. You're going to assimilate your nutrients more, and that's a secret. That's important to be able. The best thing in the world for digestion. Get in the relaxed sauna for 5 to 7 minutes. You have any kind of a stomach ache, gone. Asthma, attack, gone. Chills, shaking chills, gone. Raynaud's syndrome, gone. Neuropathy. Neuropathy is a hard one, but I had a lady with Lyme disease, and she had a neuropathy as a side effect, and she had a portable sauna for a year. She used it for an hour. Never affected, never helped with that. In 12 minutes in the relaxed sauna, her hands are tingling. There's no sauna that can do better for them than the relaxed sauna. And all the saunas are good, and a lot of them are using saunas. But when you start using the relaxed sauna and you compare it to, now there's a $10,000 wooden sauna out there, one of the largest sauna companies. They have a whole bunch of different kind of saunas, and I've sold 10, 20 saunas this year to people who have those, who buy the relaxed sauna for $1,700 as an upgrade because it starts instantly. It travels well. The whole thing can be packed up in a case and put over your shoulder for 18 pounds is all it weighs. The chair weighs 10 pounds, and if you get a Samsonite 28-inch suitcase, their Omni signature brand, the one that's been around for a couple of years, that will fit the chair and the tent. You can put the whole thing in the suitcase. There's a Dr. Brian Clement of Hippocrates Clinic, which is they use wheatgrass and a lot of other therapies. They sell the relaxed sauna in their store, and Brian Clements many times travels with the relaxed sauna. If he can't use a sauna, he's not a happy camper, so he travels with it all the time. And I know he went to, I think, Costa Rica about 3 months ago, and he took the relaxed sauna in his suitcase. So you have many, many well-known doctors, many, many health practitioners, athletic trainers, 6 or 7 or 8 of the baseball teams have ordered the relaxed sauna from us. Last year, we sent 2 more saunas to the Dodgers for the Citi Field, at Citi Field in New York for the Mets National League Championship last year. And I have a picture of one of their players in the relaxed sauna at Citi Field from the national championships last year. That was Gavin Lux. He's with the Reds now, and the Reds bought 6 relaxed saunas from us about a year ago, and they have one to every single team. If you want recovery, if you're a marathon runner, oh my gosh, you can recover so much quicker. And if you want prevention of injury, the relaxed sauna is ideal for any athlete. And when people come home from work tired, you go in the sauna in 5 to 7 minutes, and you have your evening free now. You're not gonna be exhausted because it's like a cat nap or a power nap.
You've spent years in the health space. Besides saunas, what are other things you recommend as preventative medicine? What are things that we as a whole can be doing? And what are things that you think we can skip and pass on?
Yes, I got into Chinese herbs, Chinese tonic herb products. In '84, I was selling green powders. In my health food store, this guy working with me says, "You want to get on a green powder, a juice powder? You want to get on a probiotic? You want to get on an enzyme?" And he's been saying that since the '80s. The 2 of my favorite go-tos besides the relaxed sauna, it's called chlorine dioxide. Currently, it's called MMS, Magic Mineral Solution. I've been into fasting for a long time, 1971. I love the lemonade diet, the lemonade master cleanser diet. I've done that fast 3 days, 10, 20, 30 times, one day, a couple hundred times. I've done intermittent fasting without even knowing it for about 5, 6 years straight until about 3 years ago. I don't do it every day now. The most I've done it is 14 days. I talked to a friend of mine. He fasted for 40 days, and when you do that, you have profound spiritual experiences. There's no question. But the Master Cleanser diet is an easy diet to do. It's a half of a lemon or 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. The book is by Stanley Burroughs, Healing for the Age of Enlightenment, or the little booklet, The Master Cleanser. and 2 tablespoons of maple syrup, pure maple syrup, not maple-flavored sugar syrup, but pure maple syrup, and then just a dash, 1/10 of a teaspoon or a dash of cayenne pepper, and I do it in hot water usually and sometimes cold water, and whenever you're thirsty, you just drink that and your hunger's gone, and I would do it for 10 to 8, 12 times a day, and sometimes if I got too much of the cayenne in me, I would just drink water, pure, either distilled water or spring water, and those are the go-tos. Again, Chinese herbs, spirulina, superfoods, chlorella, blue-green algae, whole foods. Get off refined sugar, get off preservatives. When you shop a grocery store, they say you do the perimeter.
Well, if you've listened to the podcast and you're interested in a relax sauna, Phil has offered us a discount code. So if you use the code Dr. Shawna on relaxsaunas.com from November 10th to November 17th, you will get a $150 discount on the saunas. And then from there on out, if you still use the code Dr. Shawna, which I'll have in the show notes, that also gets you $100 off your sauna. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope that everyone learned more about what saunas are, how to use them, when to use them, and why to use them. You've been listening to Authentically Shauna with Dr. Shauna Burke. The information contained in this podcast is provided for information purposes only and is not intended for the purpose of diagnosing, treating, curing, or preventing any disease. Before using any products or techniques referenced in this podcast, consult your healthcare provider. Opinions of guests are their own, and this podcast does not endorse or accept responsibility for statements made by guests. This podcast may contain paid endorsements and advertisements for products or services. Individuals on this podcast may have direct or indirect financial interest in products or services referred to herein. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you, Shauna.